Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
Let's go right and fount of treasure in triumph of banner raised, standing stronger in harmony, building a land together. Dreams of a founding fathers, we are striving to attain our counts and values that we share. Through all ages we sustain. Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Your accuracy we cherish. We uphold your integrity.
Hello, doctor. Hello, Dr. Yamisoni. Hello, doctor.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the voice went off now. Are we live now?
Yes, we are live. We are live. So,
Yes, you are alive and interactive.
So can we get started?
yes, you can go ahead, sir.
Good morning, dear participants. You're welcome to our maiden edition of the ICAN SMP webinar in collaboration with the SMP Forum. You are all welcome. I would like to run the program of events today so that we are all informed of how this program will be today. Secretary, please, have we done the ICAN anthem and the national anthem? Because I didn't hear it then.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So today, the thing, we have two sessions today, and the first session is going to be by Mr. Jami Olakison, talking about the future of audit in the face of artificial intelligence. Then we're going to be having a technical session, compliance with FRC rules. That's the Rule 12 and Rule 14. But before we get started, please let us know that at the end of the session, all questions should be directed into the box and all your questions will actually be attended to. The session promises to be thought-provoking, and it's going to be an experience that members of the SMP, the people in the SMP, in SMP will definitely enjoy. So before we go into the main session of today, please permit me to introduce the Mr. Shola Oyetayo, who is the chairman of the SMP Forum, to give us a welcome remark before we bring in Mr. Ponle Libute, who is the BOT chairman, who is going to be telling us what the ICAN SMP Academy is all about. I know a number of us have been asking ourselves questions, what is ICAN SMP Academy? Nobody have we heard about it. So you'll be getting to know what the SMP Academy is all about. So permit me to bring on board Mr. Shola Oyetayo, the chairman of the SMP Forum and also a member or a BOT member of the SMP Academy. Mr. Shola Oyetayo, you're welcome on board and good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning, Yemi. Thanks. Let me first recognize the president and members of the presidency for attending and thank the president for his support and the opportunity for a forum to have a webinar with the ICAN SMP Academy. Let me just tell you what the forum is all about. The forum comprises firms other than the Big Four. So all the firms other than Big Four, they are members of the forum. And this to promote high standard and professionals' conduct and registered professional accounting firm, opportunities for the exchange and discussion of information, view rightly said. To compliance with rules of FRC, we have engaged members who have not been complying with those rules, especially the rules number 12 and 14, and that's
hello, Mr. Oyetayo, please you may help us. Mr. Oyetayo, please you may help us check your network. I don't think our members are hearing you very well, sir. Mr. Shola Oyetayo.
Okay.
Hello,
Are you hearing now?
Could you help us check your network so that our members will be able to hear you very well, sir?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can
We
you
can
hear
hear
me
you
now?
now. We can hear you now, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead. Yes. There is an echo. There is an echo there.
Okay.
You understand? So please, we need to ensure that the quality of yes, we need to ensure that the quality is a bit high.
Okay, can you hear me now? Very well.
It is
Hello,
crystal
can you hear
clear.
me now?
It is crystal clear now, sir.
Okay. I just said the forum comprised of the firms other than the Big Four. So those firms who are not under the Big Four, they are members of the forum, and and develop high standard ethics, use experiences and opinions among professional accountants. So we have three presentations today, as Yemi rightly said, the SMP Academy, the Jami will talk about the future of audit and talk about the compliance with FRC rules and why the FRC rules. FRC have had meetings with us and expressed disappointment with our members who have not been complying with the rules, especially rules 12 and 14. So I would like us to take it serious and to ensure that we do ensure that we attend to those things. So that's why we're having Adishola Amo, who actually one of those groups to come and discuss with us. And if you are not a member of the SMP Academy yet, a member of the Forum of SMP, please, you can get in touch with us so that you can be a member. So thank you very much. I believe you will all enjoy. You are all welcome to this webinar. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Shola Oyetayo, for the welcome remarks that you have given. As Mr. Shola Oyetayo was talking, I could see that we have our president on standby. Mr. President, I want to welcome you and good morning, sir. Also, we have the vice president of our great institute, Ms. Quincy Sebusime, who is also online. Good morning, ma. You're most welcome, ma. Then we also have the registrar chief executive of our great institute in person of Mr. Lanre Olasukomi, here with us also. Mr. Lanre, good morning and welcome to this webinar. Before we go to the next item on the agenda, I know a number of us will be wondering, oh, we have joined. The flyer says 5 credit hours. How do we get our 5 credit hours? Let me just assure you that for all of you that are joining on all the social media platforms of the Institute, as the program is going on, for those people that have challenges in probably registering, the IT people will be sending in I think a link for you to be able to fill so that you'll be captured for attending this program so that you'll be able to get your 5 credit hours for attending this program. Like Mr. Shola Oyetayo said, this program is going to be thought-provoking and it's going to be very, very revealing. So I want you to be all attentive, and I can tell you that at the end of the program, you will be glad that you actually indeed made it into this webinar. So let's quickly get into the next thing on the agenda and bring in the next person on board, who is the BOT chairman, in person of Mr. Kunle Elebute, FCA. Like I told you, she's the ICAN SMP Academy Board of Trustees chairman. He's going to be talking to us on the introduction to the structures and function of ICAN SMP in the next 10 minutes before we get into the first main technical session that we have today. Mr. Kunle Elebute, you are very welcome on board. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Very loud and clear, sir. Thank
you so much. Thanks a lot. I have a presentation to make. I don't know whether or not the IT guys are going to show it. As I talk through the rationale for the SMP Academy. Anyway, let me continue.
Okay, sir. Technical, please help us broadcast the paper on board, please. Help us share it so that our members, our participants, our colleagues can follow as the paper is being presented. Thank you very much.
All right. While that is going on, I'd like to say good morning and welcome to our ICAN president, vice president, and registrar. Thank you so much for this opportunity for us to share your vision of the SMP Academy with members of the SMP Forum. So, first of all, we had after we were inaugurated as a board of trustees, we organized a retreat for the ICAN SMP Academy on 17 September 2025 here in Lagos. It was a physical session amongst our members. The ICAN president was there, accompanied by the second deputy vice president and the registrar. In his address, the ICAN president explained that the SMP Academy was conceived to close critical gaps in practice, stimulate job creation, and equip SMP firms with modern cutting-edge tools to remain competitive. He emphasized the importance of building an institution that will endure over time, with a clear ambition to position ICAN's SMP community for global relevance. He further highlighted the need to empower practitioners through strategic local and international partnerships, while ensuring that the Academy operates on a sustainable, self-sufficient model. Concluding his remarks, he encouraged the Board of Trustees to serve with dedication, leverage their expertise, and to make the Academy a true center of excellence. The following are the terms of reference for the Academy. First of all, is to strengthen the professional capacity of SMPs through structured training. Secondly, promote sustainability, accountability, and practice excellence. Thirdly, implement performance indicators linked to practice license renewals. And fourthly, to provide solution-oriented, development-focused support for SMPs. Like I said earlier, we then had an SMP retreat of all the Board of Trustees on 17 September this year. We focused on developing the Academy's strategic framework, vision, and structure. The Academy was created to, as I said, to strengthen the capacity of SMPs through practical skill building and regulatory support. And the focus areas include digital transformation, business development, and access to technical guidance. We then came up with an operating model for the SMP, which we said will operate through an integrated framework that ensures effective delivery of its mandate. Key components of the operating model include the following: training and curriculum. We have to identify the training needs for development and develop industry-relevant curricula for the SMP community. Deliver tailored programs with embedded performance evaluation. Secondly is research and publications, to conduct research on SMP practice trends, publish insights to inform policy and guide practitioners. Thirdly is finance and funding, to implement a sustainable revenue and funding strategies, support long-term operational viability of the Academy. Fourthly is membership and registration, manage enrollment, participation, and member records, maintain accurate data for planning and service delivery. Fifthly is marketing and communications, promote the academic programs and enhance visibility. Strengthen stakeholder engagement and outreach. Sixth is human resources and administration, coordinate staffing, governance, and operational activities, ensure efficient day-to-day administration. And finally, technology, drive digital adoption across learning, operations, and access, and also support e-learning, automation, and modern service delivery. How do we strengthen the SMP practices so that SMP practices, strengthened SMP practices can become standard across all SMPs? And next slide, please. So, is to modernize and streamline the SMP practice license issuance and renewal, and link the practice license and renewal to the SMP curriculum and training and capacity building. Introduce a structured monitoring and firm rating framework. Enhance accountability, transparency, and quality across SMPs. Strengthen engagement with regulatory authorities to support SMPs, particularly with FRC. Position the SMP Academy as a key capacity building platform. And finally, align quality assurance with ICAN and FRC oversight responsibilities. Can the slides move, please? Is it possible to move the slides? So, these are the members of the this is not my own. Okay, anyways, there's a mix-up here. Board of Trustees of SMP Academy. Mr. Dr. Emisoni who is an ICAN Council member, is the Vice Chairman. Other members are Mr. Shala Rita, who is Chairman of the SMP Forum, Mr. Abel Atalo, Mrs. Ngozi Kalu, Mrs. Nafisa S. Awak, Mrs. Yemisi Subaya, Mr. Femi Wright, SN Kwerebi, Uba Ede Jonah, Mr. Tunde Daramaja, Aliu Osigwe Yosufu, Professor Ahmed Bawa, Mr. Usman Isa, and Okunola Adeshola. So we then decided for the SMP Academy to be effectively governed and implement its mandate. The board established 3 committees with defined responsibilities covering training, funding, stakeholder engagement, and digital visibility. These committees form the operational backbone of the academy. And the first 3 committees are Learning and Development Committee, Finance and Funding Committee, and then Partnerships and Stakeholder Engagement. We then nominated members of the Board of Trustees into these committees as follows. For the Finance and Funding Committee, Mrs. MC Subaya of Hamza Subaya & Co. is the chairman. Mr. Abel Atalo of Mutari Dangana is a member. Mr. Usman Issa of Usman Issa & Co. is a member. And then Mr. SN Ukurebi of SN Ukurebi & Co. is also a member. For the Learning and Development Committee, Mr. Tuni Ramaja of TAC Professional Services is chairman. Mrs. Nafisa S. Awak of Ahmed Jakari & Co. is a member. Mr. Femi Wright of Wise Consulting Associates is a member. Mr. Ubaha Edet Jonah of Ubaha Edet & Co. is also a member. And then Professor Ahmed Bawa of Ahmed Bawa & Co. is also a member. And the third committee is Partnership and Stakeholders Engagement. Mr. Shala Yotayo chairs that committee. Dr. Yemi Sani of the partner of Forbes Mazars is a member. Mrs. Ngozi Kalu of Nnamdi Kwadibo & Co. is a member. And then Aliu Osigwe Yusufu of Nexia Agban Abel & Co. is a member. So that's my presentation. I don't know whether you want to ask, members can ask questions, because I have another engagement somewhere, so I'm not going to be at this session to the end. So, Dr. Sonny, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kunle Lebute, our BOT chairman for the ICAN SMP Academy. To all my esteemed professional colleagues, you can see that there's something cooking with ICAN. You can hear from Mr. Lebute wherein you can see the steps that are being taken by the Institute to strengthen the quality of the SMP within the ICAN pool. And all steps are being taken, and that is what you have heard from Mr. Kunle Lebute, what we have for ICAN SMP Academy, even from now and beyond. So, and part of the offering is this webinar that is being held today in conjunction with the SMP Academy. Technical, please, can you help us see? I can see there's a glitch somewhere. There's a noise coming from behind, please. Can the technical team help us look into that? So thank you very much, Mr. Kunle Lebute. If you have any question regarding what Mr. Kunle Lebute just presented, please feel free to put in your questions in the questions and answer box. Permit me to get into the next item on the agenda before we get into the technical session. The ICAN SMP Academy the idea was muted by our 61st president, and who is in a better position to actually talk to us, for you to know what the academy is all about, for you to know what the dream is for the academy by the institute. Please make welcome the 61st president of our great institute, in person of Malam Haruna M. Yahya, MNI, PhD, FCA. Mr. President, you are very much welcome on board, sir, and you have the floor, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, my distinguished professional colleagues, the chairman. I have my keynote address. The Vice President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Ajia Kunsili Segoseme MNIFCA, the Chairman, ICAN SMP Academy Board of Trustees, Mr. Kunle Lebute FCA, the Chairman, SMP Academy, and Chairman, SMP Forum, my professional colleagues, good morning. As you've heard from the chairman of BOT of SMP Academy, the academy was established by council to bridge the critical gap in the profession. As you are aware, future does not give long notice. It arrives quietly, suddenly, and demand readiness. So we want to position our small and medium practice practitioners who are the backbone of trust in Nigerian economy, because we are the first advisors to entrepreneurs, the guardian of financial literacy for subnational governments, and in many cases, the only access point to credible assurance services outside major cities. Apart from the big four, majority of the Nigerian economy is MSME that will demand the services of SMPs. As an institute, we have to ensure that the frontline soldiers of financial integrity, are well positioned to render quality services in line with global practice and through technology, new regulatory expectation, and new business models. So to that extent, our SMPs must rise to the challenge. And that was the background information the gap we saw in the council that we established this SMP Academy. And to make it sustainable, the Board of Trustees was constituted with eminent practitioners, and they are to serve for 3 years. This program is just to launch the SMP Academy so that members will be aware. They have their plan. They will roll out their program during the course of the year or next year so that every practitioner will go through this academy. Because as you are all aware, this SMP platform is confronted with a lot of disruptive shifts. Is it from artificial intelligence to automation, regulatory tightening and transparency expectation, sustainability, ISSB reporting requirement, digital practice management, and talent shortage of future workforce. So these challenges are what the SMP Academy will focus on in addition to what the chairman has said. Yes, we have SMP Committee of Council, which is renewed every year. So, but for sustainability, the committee will work with the academy, who will establish a robust roadmap for improving the quality of our SMPs. So for today, SMP ecosystem is only as strong as its smallest firm. Therefore, ICAN is implementing a comprehensive SMP transformation agenda. ICAN Practice Management Digital Toolkit will be unveiled by the Academy, where a bundle of affordable digital tools, templates, and automation resources will be made available to SMPs. We will also have ICAN Technology Sandbox for SMPs, which is a control environment where firms can test AI-enabled audit tools, automated IFRS checkers, and risk analysis engine. We also have mandatory SMP capacity building pathway for every SMPs to ensure that you pass through this, including AI, data analytics for audit, cybersecurity for practitioners, sustainability assurance with ISSB focus, then forensic readiness and fraud prevention. We will also have strengthening collaboration with Financial Reporting Council, where we work closely with FRC to streamline the regulatory expectation, reduce compliance burden, and provide training on emerging rules, including Rule 12 and 14, which will be discussed today. We also have ICAN SMP SME Advisory Marketplace, where we connect SMPs to thousands of SME seeking credible bookkeeping, tax, or advisory services This marketplace will expand the opportunity to deepen practice growth, and there will be advocacy for fair competition. We will continue to push for fair allocation of public sector audits, job, transparent procurement process, and recognition of SMPs in national development program. And because another saying goes, until the lion does not speak, the story will always glorify the hunter. ICAN will keep speaking. ICAN Council is also going to review the professional scale of fees, whereby SMPs will charge appropriate fees in line with the reality of our economy. Because what is happening in practice is unbelievable. You see some people undercutting, which cheapen the work that we're all doing, and that also impacts on the quality of service delivery, because people charge ridiculously low price and they render low quality service, which rub on all of us, because anybody that sees it will say, oh, ICAN members, ICAN members. So it is all of us that are in that ship. So we have to ensure that we have appropriate pricing mechanism that will be implemented by all of us. So what I'm trying to say in effect is that we believe that SMP is the backbone of Nigeria economy, because preponderant of Nigeria economy is small-scale businesses that cannot go near Big Four. So the market is wide for all of us if we decide to do the correct thing at the right time. So this seminar, this webinar, is to kickstart the activities of SMP Academy. That's why it is in conjunction with the SMP Forum to organize this webinar. So I implore all of us to take advantage of this and ensure that we participate actively and ask questions. And please, whatever we learn is meant to be practiced, not to just hear it and close shop. No, it is something that when we learn it, we should go back to our firm and ensure that we train the trainers. I mean, those of us who are participating in this program should go back to the firm, organize another training for your members, partners, management, and staff, so that together we shall succeed in rendering quality service to our various clients. On that note, on behalf of the council, I welcome all of us to this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for that expose on the ICAN SMP Academy. They are professional colleagues. You have heard it from the horse's mouth. So you can now see what has been cooking, what ICAN has been cooking on the ICAN SMP Academy. I want to believe that we're going to latch onto this, and in order to be able to enhance the quality of work that is being turned out by the SMP. It promises to give a lot of training, a lot of tools for the SMP to be able to give a high quality job. Thank you very much, sir, Mr. President. So that takes us, let us quickly get into the main affairs of the day, going to our technical session, paper 1, which is the future of audits in the face of artificial intelligence. Who else is capable? Who else is more qualified to do this for us than our very own member of the governing council of ICAN, in person of Mr. Jamiu Olakison? Mr. Jamiu Olakison is a partner or an assurance leader for Ernst & Young West Africa. Until his role, he was also a partner in the financial accounting and advisory services, where he led several high-profile IFRS advisory engagements across Nigeria. He was also the leader of the financial reporting group in West Africa, and in that capacity, he was responsible for IFRS technical review, technical accounting consultation, deployment of IFRS training across the firm, and technical accounting opinion. Mr. Jamiu is an audit partner who specializes in the provision of audit and other assurance services across multiple sectors, especially banks, insurance companies, fintech, asset management companies, and other capital market entities. He has over 21 years experience spanning banking and professional practice, and is a thoroughbred professional accountant with extensive experience in teaching and applying international financial reporting standards. He holds a BSc in Applied Accounting with first-class honor from Oxford Brookes University, United Kingdom, and HND in Accounting with distinction from Ondo State Polytechnic, Owo. He is a fellow of the following professional bodies: a fellow of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, and Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. He is also a member of the technical working groups within the EY of Financial Instrument Working Group, Global Fair Value Measurement, IFRS 13 Group, Global IFRS 17, the Insurance Contracts Group. And since 2018, he has been a member of the Governing Council of ICAN and an alumnus of the Lagos Business School of the Pan Atlantic University. He has attended several trainings in Nigeria and abroad, including innovation and leadership training at Wharton Business School, University of Pennsylvania, USA. With this profile that I've read out, you would agree less with me that we have a capable hand to deal with this particular paper, the future of audit in the face of artificial intelligence. Mr. Jamiu Olakison, you are welcome on board and you have the floor. Thank you very much. Huh? You have 1 hour to present your paper.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yemi Sonny. I would like to confirm that you can hear me and you can see the screen I'm sharing.
Loud and clear, we can hear you, but the screen is not showing yet.
Oh. Maybe you should stop sharing at your end. Let me try it again.
Okay, I'm not sharing. Even if your paper, technical session, technical people, okay, yeah, it's showing now. It's showing.
Oh, okay. Maybe it takes some time because I've stopped sharing. Let me start sharing again. I think it takes some time. Okay. The 61st president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Malam Haruna Yahaya, and other members of the presidency, members of the Governing Council here present, the chairman of the BOT, other members of the BOT, professional colleagues. It gives me a great pleasure to be here this morning to talk to you on the future of audit risk in the face of AI. I believe we are all professional colleagues here, and beyond that, we are all practitioners. So I strongly believe that many of the terminologies that we use, you will be familiar with them. They will resonate well with you. Without wasting time, considering the amount of time I have at my disposal, I would like to go to the session objectives. And let me make it clear that the objective of this session is actually to explore how artificial intelligence is actually reshaping the audit risk landscape, and what this means for us as external auditors, particularly those in small and medium-sized firms across Nigeria. So we aim to provide clarity on the evolving nature of audit risks. It will help us to identify emerging risks introduced by AI itself, as well as outlining practical steps that we need to take to be able to adapt. By the end of this session, participants should be able to explore traditional audit risk components and how AI reshapes this risk in modern auditing. So you should be able to learn about the new opportunities that AI offers, as well as the challenges it poses to us as external auditors. Yes, it has advantages, it offers opportunities, but it equally has challenges and limitations that we need to know. We should be able to discover practical strategies for auditors to adapt and to be able to thrive using AI in our audit practices. And lastly, we would like to gain insights into the future of audit practices with AI, focusing on compliance and resilience. Please confirm that the slide is moving.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
We're on understanding audit risk. That's what we're
yes,
saying.
Thank you. Okay, so the topic before me says I should look at the future of audit risks in the face of AI. Before I go in deep into how AI interacts or how it can be leveraged on for the purpose of identifying audit risk, we need to even understand what audit risk entails. I believe we are all practitioners, like I've said before, and some of these things I would like to quickly remind you what they are all about. So let's start by looking at audit risk. What is audit risk? Audit risk is defined as the risk that the auditor expresses inappropriate opinion when the financial statements are materially misstated. So financial statements are materially misstated, but you are giving clean opinion. You are giving unmodified opinion. Then that is audit risk. Or let's say the financial statements are not materially misstated, but you are giving or issuing qualified reports. Again, that is equally another risk. But that risk is amplified when the financial statements are materially misstated, but you are giving a clean opinion, an unmodified audit opinion. It should be noted that audit risk is a product of three different risks. The first one being inherent risk, the second one being control risk, and the third one being detection risk. What is inherent risk? Inherent risk is the susceptibility of an assertion to a material misstatement, assuming there are no related controls. So what this is telling us is, without looking at the controls that an audit client has implemented or that is operating, right? Looking at that financial statement, looking at the nature of the transactions, looking at the complexity of the transactions, looking at the volume of the items that pass through that very account, the possibility that the financial statement will be misstated, the possibility that at a certain level, a particular account will be misstated, and that without looking at the controls the client has put in place. So what are the factors that could give rise to this? For example, when you are dealing with higher complex transactions, imagine you are auditing derivatives, and the derivatives in questions are not traded in an active market. So auditing such an instrument is risky. So there is inherent risk that the amount at which that derivative is stated in the financial statement, be it an asset or a liability, may not be appropriate. Imagine you auditing several loans and advances in a financial institution, and you are equally looking at impairment, that is expected credit loss for those loans. So looking at the nature, looking at the volume, looking at the level of uncertainty as well as estimates required. So there is inherent risk that the loans and advances may be materially misstated. Imagine you auditing an insurance company and you are trying to determine whether the insurance contract liabilities are appropriately stated. Considering the level of uncertainty, the estimates required, the judgment required to be able to estimate the correct value of that insurance contract liability. So that insurance contract liability has the inherent risk of being misstated. What about control risk? Control risk is the risk that a misstatement could occur and will not be prevented or detected and corrected by the entity's internal control. And this will depend on the design and the operating effectiveness of the controls. Interestingly, in Nigeria, for the past 2 years, listed companies have implemented internal control over financial reporting, a requirement of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Starting from last year, non-listed PIs, other than those that have been excluded, have equally been asked to implement internal control over financial reporting. Ideally, the expectation is that control risk should reduce, simply because at the end of the year, in the annual report, the management of the entity are required to give attestation and they are required to issue certification on the effectiveness of internal control over financial reporting. The external auditors are equally required to issue limited assurance on what management has done as far as ICFR is concerned. So if truly those controls are effective, as contained in the report of the management, as well as that of the external auditors, then control risk should reduce. The third one is detection risk. And what is detection risk? Detection risk is the risk that the auditor's procedures, no matter how beautiful they are, will not be able to detect the material misstatements that exist. And this will be linked to the nature, the timing, and the extent of the audit procedures performed by the external auditors. One thing we equally need to note and appreciate as far as audit risk is concerned is that it could appear at two different levels. It could appear at financial statement levels. And when this happens, it means the effect is pervasive. It cuts across multiple significant accounts, not only one of them. A good example is when there is management override. When management decides to override controls so as to misstate the financial statement, the impact is going to be pervasive and it will cut across the entire financial statement, not just a particular account. Another one is when an entity is no longer a going concern, the impact is going to be pervasive. So that is looking at risk at the level of financial statement. You can also look at risk at assertion level. What do we mean here? Let's look at property, plant, and equipment. Depending on the type of entity, it may be material, it may not be material. Assuming property, plant, and equipment is material in this context, and you want to ascertain whether the value at which it is stated is appropriate, that has to do with a valuation assertion. So you need to ensure that you perform appropriate procedures aside from the controls that have been put in place to determine and ensure that the value at which that property, plant, and equipment is stated is appropriate. What if that property, plant, and equipment is not in a location that you are visiting to audit? What if it's in another location that you are currently not visiting? What if it doesn't exist? That has to do with existence assertion. So when we audit financial statement at assertion level, you pay attention to different assertions. Depending on the type of item, some assertions are more relevant than the others, depending on whether you are dealing with assets or whether you are dealing with liabilities, or depending on whether you are dealing with income or you are dealing with expenses. So let's have it at the back of our mind. When we say audit risk, like I've said before, it is that possibility that the auditor will express inappropriate audit opinion on the financial statement that I misstated, and it's a product of 3 different risks: inherent risk, control risk, and detection risk. Having talked about this, let's move on and go and look at what AI brings to us. How AI can help us when it comes to dealing with audit risk. So what AI brings to auditing? It brings a lot. It brings a lot to auditing. And let me say this, many people may think AI is something new. No, AI is not new. What we had in 2017 was a breakthrough when it comes to a particular type of AI, generative AI. Prior to 2017, we've always had AI, such as those that are used for predictive analysis or other types of analysis. And we also have other tools that we've been using prior to the advent of generative AI in 2017. So what AI brings? One, it enhances audit accuracy. AI enables analysis of the entire data set, improving accuracy and reducing errors significantly. If you look at the International Auditing and Assurance Standards Board, it has issued auditing standards based on the assumption that as external auditors, we cannot audit the entire transactions that takes place in a business entity during the reporting period. It is practically impossible. So they've written auditing standards based on the assumption that we are going to employ sampling techniques to be able to audit. Different types of sampling techniques. But today, we have technologies that you can use to extract the entire population of clients' data, and you can analyze the entire population. So that is one of the beauties of the technologies that we have today, including AI. Another beauty of AI is the key AI applications in auditing. For example, applications include anomaly detection, fraud identification, and predictive scoring, as well as continuous audit process. One of the things we've used AI for is actually in the review of financial statements. As an external auditor, you will agree with me that you actually need 2 different skills to be able to audit very well. Number one, you need auditing skills. What will give you auditing skills? Number one, you've got to be very conversant with the requirements of international standards on auditing. So you need to be on top of these things, and you need to have experience. When we say experience, excuse me, when we say experience, of course, the further you have the knowledge of auditing standards will not necessarily make you to be a good auditor. You've got to acquire experience by being involved in the actual audit exercise. Then the second skill you need is financial reporting skills. So you need to be conversant in the relevant reporting framework that is being adopted or used in the jurisdiction where you operate. In Nigeria, that is International Financial Reporting Standards. So when you are on top of this issue, two different standards, and you are able to acquire relevant experience, then when it comes to auditing, you already have the foundation. You have the foundation. When it comes to anomaly detection in a document that has been given to you, or in the information that has been provided to you, AI can be used to do that. AI can be used to identify fraud. AI has been used when it comes to financial statement review. For anybody who reviews financial statement, you will know it's one of the biggest tasks as an external auditor. Because number one, you need to review that financial statement to ensure arithmetical accuracy. Number two, you need to review to ensure that there is what we call internal consistency. Number three, you need to review it and ensure that the prior year numbers in the prior year financial statement, say 2024 financial statement, agree with the prior year numbers in the 2025 financial statement. Don't forget that in the 2024 financial statement, in the 2025 financial statement, you are going to have 2024 there as a comparative. So the comparatives must align with the numbers you've published last year. So that is one of the things you need to ensure. And lastly, you need to ensure when you are reviewing that all relevant IFRS have been complied with. AI has been used to deal with all these areas in a way that makes auditors' work to be seamless, to be efficient. Another benefit, more importantly to SMP, is AI will reduce the manual workload that we do. It will help us to improve insights that we have into the client's data and business. And it will also enhance the audit quality that we are going to deliver as SMPs. Lastly, governance and compliance. We need to realize the AI capabilities and limitations. And the earlier we understood this, the better for us. Sometimes when you use AI, I know ChatGPT is available to everyone. Copilot is available to everyone. We have some organizations that have the copilots that have been tailored to their needs. And we have other organizations that have equally developed their own in-house AI capabilities. As you make use of AI, you need to recognize that it has limitations. You can't just use AI. For example, you have generated something from AI and you want to use it without verifying whether what you are getting is accurate. No, AI has limitations. And that is what we say when we say keeping human in the loop when it comes to AI, which means you can't just divorce human being completely from the interaction with AI. You still need to make use. Look at what it has given to you. It may not be 100% correct. And also when it comes to the use of AI, you need to ensure regulatory compliance. You don't just go and invent AI that will violate cybersecurity, that will violate ethics, that will infringe on data protection. You need to be sure that all relevant compliance requirements by the regulatory authorities have been complied with. Then I move to emerging risks that AI is bringing to us. Yes, AI offers significant advantages, but it also has some risk. It has some risk. In those days, when the then accountants were not using computer, when they were not even using calculator, they were using their hands and pen and paper to calculate. At a point, calculator came. They had to rely on that. At a point, computer came. We had to make use of Excel to be able to do the calculation. in a way that we believe is more efficient than whatever we were using prior to that time. When computer was coming, we thought that there won't be any need for human beings to work again. It's taking our job. What computer has done is that it has changed what we do as human beings. It has changed what we do as professional accountants. The same way, AI is changing what we do. It's changing the way we work. Human beings will still be needed in that loop. One of the risks that AI brings is the fact that we have what we call model risk. And model risk arises from inaccurate or biased AI algorithms due to flawed design or training data. It's been said that when it comes to AI, any AI platform, the more the data, the better. But again, the data you are feeding into that AI tool must be accurate because it's garbage in, garbage out. When it comes to the use of ChatGPT, when you input something into it, it works behind the scene and gives you what you need. That is a generative AI type, right? But when you use the Google type, it gives you results. But the beauty of using Google AI is that it gives you the references, the source from where it's inputting, it's taking that data. Imagine you typing something in Google AI or typing it in a particular AI tool, and that AI tool is not up to date in terms of data. And what is given to you is based on a particular standard that it has been superseded just 2 months ago. What you are getting from there, if you are not checking it correctly, then what you are using at the end of the day is not going to be accurate. Again, there may be bias when it comes to the algorithms that have been developed to work behind the scene. So we need to recognize this limitation and we need to recognize this risk. Data privacy and cybersecurity is another important one. AI processes sensitive data, increases the risk of breaches and cybersecurity threats. We should be conscious of the fact that both in Nigeria and elsewhere, we have data protection. We have data protection regulations that require us not to do certain things and that require us to do certain things, especially when we are collecting data from people. If you are collecting data from people to use in business, under the data protection law, you must specify the purpose for which that data will be used. Another thing is that that data must not be kept beyond the period that is supposed to be kept. When you are gathering data from a particular set of people and you are using it for another purpose, then you need to know that you may be violating the data protection laws. Ethical and bias risk. Lack of transparency or fairness in AI decisions can lead to ethical concerns and reputational damage. So we need to be aware of this. There's what we call ethical AI. And this will tell you do and don'ts when it comes to AI. Whether you are using it, whether you are developing it, whatever position you occupy with regards to AI, there are do's and don'ts when it comes to AI. Whether you are implementing it for your clients or you are developing the one you want to use for yourself. Regulatory risks. So we have evolving compliance frameworks that impose new regulatory risks for AI use in auditing. Imagine you are looking for audit evidence. You are looking for audit evidence in support of what you are doing. And you have just typed a question into ChatGPT and you got results and you file that in support of your work as an external auditor. You are playing with risk because what you are putting there may not be something that will absolve you when you face a regulator. So you need to be conscious of what you are using. In many developed countries, they've developed certain rules, certain ethical practices that people must comply with when it comes to developing or using AI. The future of audit risk assessment with AI. When it comes to AI, we need to equally pay attention to how AI is changing audit risk. How AI is changing audit risk. And the first one is continuous auditing and monitoring. AI enables continuous auditing with real-time risk monitoring and seamless integration of enterprise systems. One thing we need to note about AI is sometimes, especially technologies, emerging technologies generally, sometimes as accountants, we sometimes think that for us to better appreciate AI, we need to become computer scientists. We need to become programmers for us to be able to do well when it comes to AI. No. What you need as an external auditor is you need to appreciate what AI is all about. Beyond what we are doing here today, you need to develop yourself about AI, on AI. Now, when you develop yourself, you are not developing yourself to become a computer scientist, but you are developing yourself as a solution provider such that when you see areas where we have issues, where we have limitations in terms of the way we do our work, when it takes significant amount of time, right, to perform the audit work, you can think of how to leverage on AI, working closely with a computer scientist to be able to develop a tool that will solve that problem. One of the problems that we've solved seamlessly when it comes to audit work that we do, I've talked about that before, is the fact that we now have tools that we can use to analyze the entire population of data that occur through the year. You imagine a telecom operator, the amount of transactions it generates per day. You can imagine how you want to audit that kind of volume efficiently without leveraging on technology. Let's look at banks. The amount of withdrawals. Gone are the days when you need to get to banks before you can perform transactions. Imagine the volumes of transactions that take place in every bank every day. So you can imagine you trying to audit those volumes traditionally without leveraging on technology is practically impossible. So one of the areas that we've leveraged on technology to be able to improve and make audit work to be very efficient is the use of confirmation or circularization. You know, if you're auditing a bank or a company that has receivables, let's say 5,000 receivables, when it comes to that receivable or that loan, an asset in the books of the bank, one of the assertions you want to test and be comfortable on is the existence of that receivable and the valuation of the amount involved. One of the audit procedures we perform to ascertain that is to send letters, confirmation letters, to those who are owing the company or the bank, as the case may be. In those days, imagine the number of letters you have to prepare, that you have to dispatch, and those numbers, those letters, some of them may go within Lagos, some may go as far back as the northern part of the country. Some may even go outside the country, right? For the purpose of you asking the customer that is owing or the borrower that is owing to confirm the correctness of the amount involved. Imagine the amount of work you have to do to prepare those letters. Eventually, you get the client to sign volumes, and eventually you prepare, you dispatch them and send them. We're proud to the advent of the generative AI in 2017. We've invented tools that can be used to do that. All the client needs to do is to sign just one letter for you. And that can be replicated for as many customers or borrowers as possible. And what will happen is, that is where we leverage on what we call robotic process automation, RPA. It is the RPA that will send the letter automatically, simultaneously to all the customers. And they are meant to respond electronically. And when they respond, if for a customer A or borrower A, the amount that customer is owing is 10 million. If he confirms 10 million, when he responds, the bot will pick it, put the amount confirmed side by side with the amount you have sent out. If there is no difference, it puts nil there, and that means matter closed. The matter is closed. However, if there's any difference, if the amount you are sending out is 10 million, but the customer is saying, no, I'm owing only 8 million, that means there is a difference of 2 million. That bot will flag it for you that there's a difference of 2 million. And it will now direct your attention to only those ones that have material exceptions. So in that case, you can see the amount of time we've saved. You can see the amount, how efficient audit has become. Also in those days, you must be in the client office before you can perform audits efficiently. Today, anywhere you are in the world, many audit platforms that are used by big firms, and I'm sure not big firms too, can leverage on similar things. Real-time, they exist on real-time basis, which means wherever you are, you can key in and you can perform audit. And review of that work can be done by a senior member of the audit simultaneously as we're performing that work. That is the power of connecting when it comes to auditing. So reduce detection risks. AI analyzes entire data, like I've said. It decreases decreasing traditional detection risks, but increasing reliance on technology. So that technology must have been proven to be accurate in terms of what it does. Otherwise, you may be relying on technology at your own loss. Integration with ERP and blockchain. Integrating audit with ERP systems and blockchain enhances data integrity, transparency across processes. New auditors' competencies. Before now, I've talked about the fact that as an external auditor, for you to do well, and say financial statement auditor, for you to do well, you need to have auditing standard skill, and you need to have experience therein. You need to have financial reporting skills. You need to have experience on that. Now you need to have IT skills. But in today's type of firm that we have, sometimes we have another set of people that provide different supports in this area. But in any case, even when you have a specialist providing support to you, you need to have certain minimum level of skill so that what they are giving to you, you will be able to review, make meaning out of it. Because at the end of the day, if you are the one signing, you know the level of risk you are taking. So you need to have some understanding of what they are providing to you. What are the practical steps that the auditors need to follow or take? These are actionable strategies. The first one is build AI awareness. What we are doing is part of it, but you need to go do beyond this. You need to do beyond this that we are doing in 1 hour. So SMPs should train audit teams to increase AI knowledge through professional development programs. you need to leverage AI tools. So you need to use affordable AI-enabled tools for data analytics and risk assessment to improve audit efficiency. Even though the big firms may be developing their own tools themselves, I think for SMPs, you have some that have been developed that you can leverage on to work on in case you don't have the capacity to develop yours. So you need to enhance internal control for data handling and algorithm governance to reduce technology risk. That is, in case you are developing your own, you need to take this step. You need to engage with regulators. You need to collaborate with regulators, such as the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria and professional bodies, such as the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, to stay up to date and to ensure that you're able to get best practices and you're able to comply with relevant regulatory requirements. So the key takeaways from this session, I would like to quickly highlight them. AI is reshaping audit risk. AI is transforming audit risks rather than eliminating it. It's transforming audit risk. It's not eliminating audit risk. That audit risk will continue to be there. Those three audit risks are the components of audit risk. Those three components, the inherent risk, the control risk, and the detection risk, they'll continue to be there. What AI is doing is to transform, but it's not eliminating them. So it requires auditors to adapt and understand the new challenges. So that means some of the risks that exist before now may disappear, but another set of risks are being created. So we need to recognize that. Another set of risks are being created. In those days, prior to using computer, nobody was talking about cybersecurity. With the advent of computer, so a new risk or type of risk emerged. So you need to deal with that risk. So that risk will continue to be transformed. It's not that it is being eliminated completely. New audit risk, emerging risk include model bias. I've talked about that. Cybersecurity threats, regulatory compliance challenges that require vigilance, the data protection regulations. You need to be conscious of them so that you don't violate the laws and regulations. SMPs should start small, but you must act now. You can't be left behind. If you don't act now, one thing you need to recognize is the fact that the clients you are auditing, some of them are using AI as well. Some of them are using AI to do reconciliation. So imagine your clients using AI. Imagine your clients using emerging technologies. If you remain where you are, if you don't act now, then it will get to a point that the gap between your clients and yourself will be so wide that it won't be appropriate for you to continue auditing that client. So you need to integrate AI responsibly with strong governance and continuous learning. Compliance and ethical priorities. We need to maintain compliance and ethical standards, and that is key in managing AI-related audit risks effectively. So on this note, I want to say thank you very much for the opportunity to make this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jamil, for that beautiful presentation. I believe strongly that our participants thoroughly enjoyed that session. I'm sure a lot of things that participants didn't know before, I'm sure most of them have come to light right now with this expose on this, the future of audit risk in the face of artificial intelligence. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamiu. Mr. Fadile and the technical crew, please can you check the question and answer box so that we can see the questions that some of our members are asking, so that we can get Mr. Jamiu to answer most of these questions before he departs. And please take it that it doesn't end here. Even if your question is not being answered directly, still send your message into the box. We will definitely attend to your questions so that we will get it across, we'll get across to you, and we'll be able to attend to that appropriately. Please, thank you, Mr. Jamiu. Everybody is, I'm looking at the session, I'm looking at the comment. They said they will need the slide. We're going to send the slide to everybody. All the people that have registered to join this program, you're going to get the slide, just the way you're going to get your 5 credit hours. And on this note, please let me let you know that as the program is going, you will only be entitled to credit hours if you are in this program 80% of the time in this program. They are monitoring the timing, and at some point in time, they are going to release the link for you to be able to register to get your credit hours. But if you are not on for the program for about 80% of the time, I'm afraid you will not get the 5 credit hours, because the essence of the credit hours is not just for you to get it for getting sick. It's for you to be equipped, and it's for you to gain from the depth of the papers that are being presented by our facilitators. Mr. Jamiu, thank you very much once again. All the members in the comment section are saying very thank you to you. They appreciate the papers. So you're welcome, sir. So Mr. Fadile and IT people, please can you let me know if there are comments on the questions, so that we can quickly read the questions out for Mr. Jamiu to answer before we put an end to this session and go to the next session.
Okay, thank you so much. From Musami, MB number 57023, how can SMPs strengthen their ethical framework in a business environment where clients sometimes pressure for non-compliance?
Okay, thank you on that. Mr. Jami, before you answer that, let me add this. Mr. Femi Richard Ayolowo asked question. He said, what is from Facebook? He's joining us on Facebook. He said, what can be done by the auditor when the data given to the AI for use has error and the errors were not detected early? That's the question he asked. So any other questions?
Yes.
There's another question on from YouTube. It's going to show on stage. It says, how can SMPs strengthen their ethical frameworks in a business environment where clients sometimes pressure for non-compliance? That question is being asked by Musa Medigo, Mikaeli, MB057023. Those are the questions that we have for now. So, Mr. Jami, please feel free to answer those questions.
Okay, so I think the one Toye read before was the one you read last, and that is the one I can see on the screen. And okay, that is the one that says, how can SMP strengthen their ethical framework in a business environment where clients sometimes pressure for non-compliance? That is an interesting question, right? I can imagine what external auditors go through, especially non-Big Four external auditors. You see, one thing we need to appreciate is that, one, we have a name to protect. The name we are protecting may be the name of the firm, it may be your own name, but you have a name to protect. When the chips are down, it is your head that will be called for. And as such, you are a member of professional body. And that means you have ethical standards that you've got to follow when it comes to doing your work. You have certain principles that you must follow when it comes to doing your work. Clients can pressure for non-compliance. But remember, you are answerable to not only ICAN, you are equally answerable to the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. And you must do the right thing. So that is why they said, as part of ISQM1, International Standard and Quality Management, you need to vet the type of clients that you work with and the type of engagement you accept. So you may not know, but through the process of client acceptance, if it is properly done, it will help you to determine that the client you are accepting is not the one that will put pressure on you to do inappropriate thing that can put you in problem. And the engagement you are accepting is not the type that you do not have sufficient knowledge to be able to deal with or skill to be able to perform. So the best thing when you are faced with that situation is to explain to the client what it means to do the right thing, what it means for you and for the client not to do the right thing. Because when you don't do the right thing, you may go scot-free today, but tomorrow, that thing may come back to all of you. And as such, why I appreciate the fact that working as an SMP is a difficult task, you must make it as your priority to do the right thing. Because eventually, when you are reported, you are the one that will face ICAN and you will face FRC, even though the client may face FRC as well. So I implore whoever has asked that question to ensure that you do the right thing, even though there's a pressure for non-compliance. Again, the second question has to do with the data you are provided with as an external auditor to work. What if it has error? Of course, that is why we are saying that there should be a way for you to detect. There should be a way for you to detect whether the client's data has error, right? But there's something we call IP test and procedure, information provided by entity. Beyond that, you need to, because that errors that you have there, where is it coming from? Is it coming from the system? Or was it a deliberate, fraudulent attempt on the part of the client to mislead you by giving you a figure that is not appropriate? If it has to do with the IT system being used is the one that has the error. That is why part of what we do as external auditor is to perform what we call IT general controls, ITGC. You must perform those controls because in today's business environment, the data you are working with is processed through a system. And you must understand what is going through that system, what that system has done. You must understand the type of controls that have been built around that system in terms of who could make changes to the system and what have you. Those are things we call IT general controls. You can even go to the extent of testing what we call application controls. That is those things that that system has been configured to do. Is it doing it well? If it has to do with interest income calculation, calculating effective interest rate, recognizing interest income based on a net basis or on a gross basis, is it doing it very well? You can go to the extent of testing that system, looking at the application control, and you can perform all sorts of controls. At the end of the day, maybe that will have helped you to discover that that system is not reliable, and the amount of work you want to do in that case on substantive work will have to be more. But again, the ICFR that has been introduced in Nigeria is a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing for every entity that is supposed to do it, because it will make every entity to be conscious in terms of what they give to you. Otherwise, how can the system be producing data that has errors or the entity giving you data that has error by maybe at the point of extracting it from the system, they have manipulated it in such a way that what they are giving to you is not exactly what is coming from the system. That may indicate that that entity does not have effective internal control in place. Even though we still issue limited assurance, the amount of what we do in Nigeria is similar to what is being done in those jurisdictions where they issue reasonable opinion, which is the type of opinion we issue on financial statement audit. So, in summary, the data, for if it has error, you should be able to detect it. If you have performed all the necessary control, the ITGC, as well as the application control, and if you perform specific procedures relating to information produced by the entity, then it will help you to discover that that data may not be reliable. And at the end of the day, if you are dealing with a client that is deliberately giving you inappropriate data, a data that is filled with error, deliberately, I think you need to think twice whether you want to be working with that type of clients or not.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamil. You will all agree with me that justice has been done to this paper. This is the beginning of new things for the ICAN SMP Academy. The ICAN SMP Academy is to strengthen, the work of the professionals in the SMP space. And part of the things to do that is organizing webinars, having trainings, and sharing tools that can be used to assist our members in this space to be able to have quality audit. And that is why we have brought an expert in this area in person of Mr. Jamil Olakison. Mr. Jamil, we really appreciate you. We thank you for your time, and we thank you for the wonderful paper that you have presented. We will still continue to call you from time to time because this is just the beginning. And as the race continues, I know that along the line we will still need to tap from your repertoire of knowledge for the purpose of our members in the SMP workspace. Thank you very much, Mr. Jamil, for your time today.
Thank you very much. Bye.
So, my dear participants, that brings us to the end of the first session. My name is Yemi Sani, a member of the Governing Council of our Great Institute, and also the chairman of the SMP Committee of ICAN. I am happy with the total number of people that are participating in this space today. The number is highly encouraging, and it shows that our members are ready to embrace the new norm in the SMP space. We are going to be going into the next paper. But before that, technical, please, can you confirm if Mr. Amao is already on standby for us for the second paper? Mr. Fadil?
Yes, sir. He's on standby, sir.
Okay, so that's beautiful. So let me quickly, hold on. Let them project the profile of Mr. Amao so that we take it from there. Hold on, let me just quickly. I don't have, okay. Yeah, I think I'm looking at it. Okay, I know that this might be thin for you. It might be a bit tough to read, but let me quickly just browse over it. Our next paper is compliance with FRC rules. There are so many rules that FRC has turned out, and I can tell you some of our members do not even know these rules. So, but for the purpose of enlightening our members, we have chosen about two of these rules, which is Rule 12, which is on transparency reporting, and Rule 14, which is NOCLAR, the non-compliance with rules and regulations. But who else? This rule was brought about by Financial Reporting Council. So we thought, who else can do justice to this? This took us to the agency of government responsible for dishing out this rule. and those that were behind putting this rule together. One of such is our member, a fellow of the institute, in person of Adesola Amao, who is the managing consultant and CEO of Dana Consultant and Services Limited. He recently retired as a director at the Financial Reporting Council. That is in October this year. So for you to know that he was part of those that put those rules together. So he obtained a second class of a BS degree in accountancy from University of Maiduguri, Borno State, and a Master of Business, Banking and Finance from Ambrose Ali University in Ekuma. He also has a PhD in view from Leeds City University in Ibadan. He is a fellow of ICAN and a certified member of the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners of State Exams, and associate member of the Institute of Chartered Secretary and Administrators of Nigeria. He holds a certification in International Financial Reporting Standards by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, and a joint certification on International Public Sector Accounting Standards, IPSAS, from ICAEW and the Certified Institute of Public Fund Administrator, England. Mr. Adesola led initiatives that supported the adoption of IFRS, IPSAS, NCCD 2018, and ICFR, and improved corporate reporting quality for public interest entities. He led the Financial Reporting Council practice review team to review audit firms in Nigeria, including the Big Four. He's actually an expert instructor in IFRS, IPSAS, and ICFR, and he has led a number of in-house IFRS training programs for reputable Nigerian companies in various sectors of the economy. He has participated in conversion of Nigerian GAAP-based financial statement to IFRS-based one. He's widely traveled and attended various international training, workshops, seminars, conferences across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear professional colleagues, please make welcome to the stage, presenting the next paper for this technical session, Mr. Adesola Amao. Mr. Amao, you're welcome. You have 1 hour to present the paper, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sani. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
sir.
we can hear you loud.
Thank you so much. All right. Good afternoon, my dear President, Dr. Haruna Yaya. It's a pleasure being part of this program, and I want to stand on the protocol that my president himself and Mr. Jamiu had laid. I couldn't have done better than that. So let me stand on that existing protocol so that we can save time. So let me try and upload my slide so that we can follow suit. Just a minute. Sorry, can we see it? Hello?
Just not
can we
yet.
see the slide?
Just not yet. No, not yet.
Oh,
just not yet.
Okay. Okay. Let me do that again.
IT, please be on standby to probably help project his slide in case he's having technical glitches on the side. Thank you.
Has it come up? It's still loading?
Not yet. Mr. Fayashi. Mr. Fadili.
It's still loading.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please put IT on standby to be able to help him project his paper.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, we can see it now.
All right. All right. Thank you very much. Let me start by saying that just as Dr. Sani has presented it, I just retired in October. So what I'm not speaking authoritatively for FRC anymore, but I will bring to bear my experience so far and how some of these documents have been put together. So I don't know. Is this okay? Yes. The learning objective of this exercise is to intimate the practitioners with some sections of FRC Act, the various rules, the regulations. And the objective is to simplify compliance, because what you don't have, you cannot give. What you don't know, you cannot put it to work. And I believe as professionals and as practitioners, one of the key things that we can do for our clients is to ensure that we take them off the radar of regulators. What do we mean by that? When you comply, once you comply with the necessary rules and regulations of the regulators, you don't have anything. In fact, the work of regulator becomes easier and efficient when things are working, when people are complying, not when they are sanctioning. The sanctioning is eminent when people refuse to do what they should do. So on this grant, so it also enhanced the job of professionals and also avoid sanction. Now, there are lots we're going to go through, but because of time, there are some that I've just mentioned them so that we can, move on quickly. Now, we're going to first look at, by way of introduction. Now, some people have complained severally that auditing work has been over-regulated. In fact, I say over-regulation, go to this industry, regulation is too much. I agree. But it's important to also know that without regulation, people will do what they like. I remember a scenario where an information was sent to the FRC of a practitioner who claimed to have audited an account and is stamped with CITN logo, CITN stamp, and is signed. When the guy was invited to the council, I felt so sorry for him because he came all the way from Abuja. He could not afford flight. He came by night bus, looked for a place in Lagos to quickly shower and come and attend the meeting by 10 a.m. On asking him, how did you do this? Are you a chartered accountant? The answer is no, he's not a chartered accountant. And he said, we are many. That was the language he used. How much did you take for this assignment? He said 25,000 naira. I felt so bad. I felt so sad. I pitied him. So this is the reason why regulation is put in place to check all these quack, and all these irregularities in the system. Now, let's quickly look at some. I agree that we're going to look at concentrate more on Rule 12 and 14. But let me say something. If you do not understand Rule 1 to 11, it's impossible for you to comply with Rule 14 because Rule 14 is the omnibus. Rule 14 hangs every compliance on auditors, and that's why it's important for auditors to please pay attention. Now, Section 8.1 of FRC talks about submission of financial statement. When are you going to submit? Because for failure to submit as a when due, you will be sanctioned. Now, 60 days after the board approval, you must submit the financial statement. Now we are not even filing financial statement physically anymore. We have national repository that we need to, So, but in doing that, it is important to know that there are some entities in Nigeria like PENCOM, insurance, PFA, insurance, CBN, that you need to submit your financial statement for those regulators to, in a way, let me say, approved, if that language is appropriate, for you to now fight to FRC. However, some of them take 2-3 months before you get it clear from those regulators, especially if you have issues to resolve. Now, how do you now meet these 60 days after board approval? So what we normally advise is for clients, you tell your clients the letter they used to send out the financial statement to those primary regulators, photocopy it, write another letter addressed to the FRC, the CEO FRC, that the council, that the account is with that regulator, and as soon as it's out, it will be submitted. With that, FRC will stop counting the number for that 60 days. After which, if you don't submit, then there could be an issue. Then also, if your account is qualified, Section 8.1n, it happens, maybe for one reason or the other. Or you even have issue of EOM, emphasis of the matter. You must not, this one is the responsibility of the auditors, not your clients. That account must not be published. You must not conclude that account. You should ensure that you report the matter, you bring the matter to the council, and the issue related to that qualification must be submitted 30 days, within 30 days after that your qualification. After which, if you don't, it becomes a sanctionable offense. And also, if you submit financial statement to any authority, PIE, so to any authority in Nigeria, 30 days after you submitted that, you must also submit to FRC. So these are the issues I want us to understand clearly so that we can know what is expected of us and what we should do when we get to Rule 14. Then we also have Section 7.2, monitoring compliance. Before the Amendment Act, FRC Act 2023, the Council ceded the responsibility of monitoring compliance with the corporate governance with relevant other primary agencies or regulators. Now that section has brought it back. So FRC has responsibility to sanction. And let me say this. When it comes to corporate governance report, you don't need to wait until when the audit is concluded. When you conclude the audit, no. You can start as early as January, as early as February. There are things, it's a separate portal on the FRC platform, FRC website, separate portal where you need to key in those information, the question and answer they will ask you, and as soon as you submit it, you pay 50,000 naira. Failure to do that every day after 90 days, your entity, your claims will be paid 5,000 naira per day. Like I said, value addition to us as professionals is to ensure that our claims comply with laws and regulation. So that's it. Then, like I mentioned, that 81S, National Repository. FRC does not receive physical financial statement anymore. It has to be through that portal. And the objective of that is simple. Over the years, we've received where a single entity have 3, 4, 5 financial statements sent to different regulators. We have seen that we've adjudicated in some, but we felt it's not necessary anymore. This will solve it. And I believe in the wisdom of the CEO, Dr. Lowe, is working tirelessly with other regulators to see this being accepted by all so that everyone can feed from it. Once a financial statement is pushed into the FRC portal, every other regulator can feed on it. So no more hiding place. You cannot send one to CAC, send one to FRC, and send one to Federal Revenue. That will stop completely. So we also have Section 33.1, talks about registration of professional. Before now, the professional firm or that registered with the council, they did that free. But now, from 2023, it's mandatory that you register your firm. Failure to registration to a firm, small firm, between 1 to 3 partners, is just 10,000. And failure to do that, you can be compelled to pay 5 million. Registration from mid-sized firm between partner 3 to 9 is 500,000. Why big firms? Because they have big resources. There is 2 million, and it's once and for all. Registration is once and for lifetime of that firm. So it's not, you don't keep registering every year, but every other year you pay your annual due. We also have categorization of annual due in terms of PIE, and 33 talks about sanction or penalty. What are those things for not complying and the amount? We can avoid it. They are there. Please, I want to advise us, go to the website of FRC, download that act, and see these reference sections that we have mentioned. We also have Section 43 and 48, power to suspend any professional. FRC has the power to suspend any practitioner, especially, in fact, not just accountant, because Section 8 of FRC Act says register professionals, accountant, and every other professionals that are involved in financial reporting process, including valuers, including actuaries, and the rest. So please, so we also have Section 33.2, payment of annual due. When do I, as an individual, due to pay my annual due to the council? 60 days from 1st January, that is by the end of February, 1st of March is due. After that, the system will begin to calculate penalty. So please, let's pay as at when due. It is not sanctioned. It's not. So for our clients, if it's a PIE, please advise them 120 days after their year end, they should pay their annual due to the council to avoid unnecessary penalty and sanction. So we also have Section 41.2. These are omnibus, part of that section. Anybody. So as a client, as a professional, we have our client we're working with. Ensure that those have responsibility do their registration as at when due. Otherwise, it becomes a sectionable, an infraction. Section 41.2, a person shall not hold any appointment or offer any service for remuneration as a professional for public interest entity unless he is with the council. So anybody that has been doing that, he has been contravening the law. And don't forget that the law is not the baby of FRC, it's not FRC that created the law. Government, legislature created the law. They gave it to executive to execute, so it will be executed properly. So we also have registration renewal. Before, it used to be every other year. Now it's annually for the individual. How do you renew? Once you just pay your annual due, you renew your status and you can continue to run your business. Consent for PIEs during the practice review. Before the Amendment Act, before the council can take up any PIE for review, you need to seek the consent of that management. Section 60A has removed that. FRC does not need consent of any individual or any company to carry out investigation or practice review. So let's take note of that. We also have section 59, 1 and 2 that talks about conflict between financial reports and annual returns. We have regulators like CBN, CAC, PENCOM, and others. They could have different requirements or different kind of format they want their financial statement to look like. If anyone conflicts with the requirement of FRC, that FRC prevails. So please ensure you inform your clients that if they have any issue, push the two regulators together to solve it. Then you also have section 64.4, failure to comply with the reporting framework. In the course of our review, we have reviewed some firms. And when do we do that? We ask for engagement files. We discovered that some smaller firms, or even medium-sized firms, are still using, allowing their clients to use SAS, which has been, abolished or done away with since 2011, when 2010, when FRC adopted IFRS in Nigeria. So please, both ISA for the auditing, IFRS even IPSAS. If you audit government agency, ensure that they comply with the approved reporting framework. Now, let's go to the definition of PIE. Section 77 give new definition of PIEs. Now, this is the old definition by my left, the new one by my right. We've received a lot of, before I left the council, a lot of questions. Am I PIE? I'm not PIE. My turnover is not up to 30 billion. Why am I PIE? These are the lists as defined by the Act. Government and government organization, listed entities in any recognized exchange in Nigeria, non-listed entities that are regulated. This is a very big one. This one does not mean your turnover has nothing to do with that. Non-listed entities that are regulated, irrespective of, even if, for example, if I do pure water business, I'm being regulated by SON and NAFDAC. If my turnover is just 50 million or 100 million, PIE. So please, let's take notes. I want to advise that we, the professionals, please have a thorough understanding of this to guide your clients properly. Because if they comply early, it makes it easier. The life becomes easier for them. So you also have public limited company, private companies that are only companies of public or regulated entities, concession entities, and the rest. So these are the list as defined by the Act, who are the PIE. So please, as professionals, let's guide our clients properly. In the wisdom of the FRC, I think December 2023, they came out, if you look at that bullet number, I think 3 non-listed entities that are regulated. The council came up with this to explain further who are these agencies of government. It's not exhaustive. You could have more. If any of your clients is being regulated by any of these agencies, then they are such clients is a PIE. So let's take note of that. So let's now go to rules. We have rule 1, 2, which has to do with signing of financial statement. Rule 3, the filing, rule 6 and 13. Those one that has to do with the auditors. Rule 5, 9, 11, then others. So let's quickly go to them. Rule 1 talks about signing of financial statement, certification of financial statement. 2 people, as far as FRC was concerned, must sign financial statement. That's section 7(2)(g). You see the CEO and the CFO. We've seen a situation where 1 or 2 of them are not they are not Nigerians. They are not Nigerian. Their certification is not here in Nigeria. Maybe ACCA, or the person is from Ghana and he has a Charter Institute of Ghana certification. It's not acceptable here. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our own. As far as the Act is concerned, the Act recognizes these 2 professional bodies, ICAN and ANA. So the CFO must be member of either of the 2 bodies. Now, CEO, we've had a situation where the CEO or CFO need to now ask for waivers in some cases, maybe when they don't have certain requirements. So the council do go and give waivers to ensure that waiver is just 1 year, after which you'll be allowed to domesticate your certificate with recognized professional bodies in Nigeria. If it is as a director, you can go to, let me not advertise anybody. However, we've had a situation where, because as far as financial statement is concerned, you must comply with both FRC and CAMA requirement. CAMA requirement for 2 directors. FRC requires for 2 people as well. It depends on the nomenclatures in any organization. If the CFO or CEO are not a director or they are not given the name director, then that means there must be, to fulfill the requirement of CAMA, there must be 2 people in that organization. They have nomenclature, they have designation as directors. So in that case, you may have 4 people to sign the financial statement. So let's take note of this, because as you comply with FRC, you must also comply with the requirement of CAMA. Rule 2 talks about disclosure of professional providing assurance service to the council, to the entity. Now, as an auditor, you may be the one providing, or somebody else is providing. But Rule 2 says if you provide such, whoever carries out such assignment must register with the council the name of the person, the FRC number of that person, the company, the firm, professional firm that he represents, and the decision of that firm. The objective is not just to have many people in the number, in the in the database of FRC. The objective is to know that, don't forget that every figure in the financial statement are not the work of auditors. ICA allow auditors to use work of other professionals. But in doing that, there are things to do, steps to take. But to prevent auditors, that's why the council issue this, so that they can pick that individual. If he misbehaves, if his figure has an issue that can lead to material misstatement in the financial statement, so that person can be picked and deal with, while the auditors and the audit firm is allowed to continue with their work. Also, the rule expected or require the chairman of audit committee to also register with the council and sign the financial statement, the person that he signs, and ensure that FRC number is included. So we have also Rule 3 that talks about provision of audit and non-audit service. Now, CAMA requires that when you pay an auditor, that figure should be a line item in the financial statement, so it must be stated there. Now, where the same auditor carries out non-audit service, is expected. It is not. It is not. What do you call it? It is not a disallowed. It's not a prohibited job, as far as ISBA code is concerned. If it is not, and if it is done, what's the nature of the job done, and the amount paid or collected. The objective is to ensure that non-audit job does not, that the auditor is going to do, not affect the auditor's independence. Because if the fee is too big or is so much, that is why we have audit regulation 2020. We put it there that it must be 80%. It must not be more than 80% of your last year audit fee, the non-engagement assignment of fee, non-audit fee that I wanted to say. So please take note of that and comply. Rule 4 has been taken off. It's notable. Let's not waste time on that. We also have Rule 5. Rule 5 talks about external auditor expressing opinion. Another, I think I also mentioned in section 8. So if you have EO emphasis of matter, you qualify the account or adverse or disclaimer. 30 days within that period that you qualify such report, you must send it to the council, and the council, you also follow it with all the necessary documents that lead to that qualification. Issues will be resolved. We receive many of such. For example, if there is a going concern issue with an entity, the entity has been incurring losses over the years. So rather than just push it out, go with the council. What the council normally do is to invite the clients for a meeting, auditors too for a meeting. Now, this company that is not doing well, what are your plans? What effort are you making to make sure that because we want the company to continue flying? So, looking at the issues, what are the problems? How can the council help in such situation? So, these are the things that need to be put on table before the council can now issue no objection letter for the auditors to go ahead and issue his opinion and publish the account. So we also have Rule 6. Rule 6 talks about non-submission of financial statement within stipulated time as required in the Act. 60 days after the board approval, it must be submitted. This, I think I've also explained that, but don't forget the rules are offshoots of the Act. The text, so the rules just try to explain better certain things in the Act. So they are not standing alone. So also have Rule 7. Rule 7 talks about national disclosure. You agree with me that adoption of IFRS is a jurisdictional matter. Until it was adopted in Nigeria, it was never Nigerian GAAP. So it was when it was adopted. However, the council and the country believe that these two statements should also continue to be part of our financial statement. Doing that has not contravened anything from the IFRS. We just ensure that after you finish conclude the main 5 main items or statements of IFRS, the other 2 you put an heading and you call it national disclosure. So please be guided. So what are those things? Statement of value added and 5 years financial summary. And some have asked, what is the objective of that? For example, value added statement, if it's properly put together, people that are asking for increase in salary can look at it and say, well, this is the total profit we made. This is what is attributable to us. This is what is going to retain any. So we can, use this as a base that where company is progressing, we are doing that and we deserve more. And so the same thing with 5 years financial summary. Now, we also have Rule 8. Rule 8 talks about functional and presentation currency. Now, if you present a general purpose financial statement, the currency of that presentation, as far as Nigeria is concerned, is Naira, irrespective of the functional currency, the currency you use to transact business of that organization. So please take note. However, where an entity is of the opinion that shareholders shall be better informed if it also includes an annexure containing its financial statement prepared in its functional currency, such an entity is allowed to provide such an annexure to its financial statement as supplementary information as other national disclosure. Where an entity takes the option to disclose supplementary information, it should also disclose as part of that supplementary information exchange rates that you apply in translating the asset, the liability, the income, expenses, and the rest. So it's very important that we should take note of this. So a lot of organizations have been sanctioned for this. And in fact, some could pay as much as 5 million, 10 million. So please, let's be guided, let's avoid it. Rule 9 talks about key audit matters. We issued this rule, I think it's quite some time now. I think we did it in 2015 before we adopted ISA and its pronouncements generally. Like I said, the objective of this is to ensure that some information are made known to users of financial statements. And it's applicable, the rule shall be applied by auditors of all listed entities as defined by ISA, public company as defined by CAMA, bank, excluding microfinance bank, insurance companies, excluding heads, HMO, mutual fund, pension fund, private company that are holding company of any of the company above. So these are the organizations that when you prepare their financial statement, it is responsibility of the auditor, not the client. So auditors should ensure that you don't even forget that your audit matter is your work. It's part of your report. It's part of the audit. Part of audit opinion. Part of is a section in the audit opinion that you are going to put. So please ensure that we are guided. Auditors of listed companies are to comply with this rule for audit of financial statement. It started from 2016. The rule was issued, I think, early 15 or late 15 or so, but gave some period for its implementation and adoption. So please take note if you have not been doing that. I think over the times we've received some letters from SEC, and no, not yet, from the Nigeria Stock Exchange, asking why certain entities do not, they've not included key audit matters in their opinion, in their report. So we also have Rule 10. Rule 10 talks about statutory audit committee and other board committee responsible for audit. If there's any change in the audit committee composition, please ensure that the entity, advise the entity to write to the council. It's just to write that Mr. James O.O. has been removed from the committee. It could be maybe he has retired on account of age, or he has finished his tenure, or one thing or the other. Now, the reason for this, we've seen that some audit committee members are active, and some organizations may not have them being active. So they want to push them away in one way or the other. So this is to protect the audit committee members. And how are we going to know? Now, once we pick your financial statement in 2024 and pick 2025, we check the list of audit committee members in 2024, compare with audit committee members in 2025. If there's any variation, then this becomes an infraction. So please let's ensure that we comply. Just a letter and you'll be free. Now, Rule 11 talks about restriction of auditors' advertisement. Let me use that word. Restriction of auditors' logo and brand. Now, we've seen over the years where a financial statement submitted to the council, you just see the name of the auditor will be more pronounced than the name of the client. They will just create a small window and put the name of the client there. Why you see Adesola Mawako, chartered accountant, very bogus. So ethically, it is wrong. As professionals, we are not expected to advertise. I will tell you where we should advertise, and it's coming very soon. So it's expected that once that is what you are supposed to do, every whatever information you are going to disclose about your firm must not go beyond your opinion page. Be it logo, be it brand name, any form of advertisement, any form of identity must be restricted to your opinion page. It could be 2, it could be 3, depends on the number of opinion page that you have. Now, Rule 12. Rule 12, audit transparency report. Audit transparency report. This report is very important. It came up, I think we issued it in 2022 to be effective in 2023. Now, the objective of this rule is for proper insight of the firm to be made known to the public. The transparency report shall be compulsory for audit firms that audit or provide other assurance service for PIEs. It's possible you may not be the auditor, but you are tax consultant or whatever. To the PIEs, it is mandatory that you furnish this information with the council. Transparency report is a report published and lodged with the council by audit firms that audit and or provide assurance service that focuses on the firm's audit practices, policies, programs put in place to support audit quality. I want us to get note of this. Policies, practices, procedures, programs that we put in place to enhance audit quality. So these are the things we want to see in that document. It is generally contained information relating to legal structure of the firm. Who and who owns the firm? The ownership, the governance structure, internal quality management system of the firm, the quality assurance of the firm, the education, the training that they are giving the staff. How often do they go? What kind of training do they go for? The independent practice of the firm revenue in form of, the firm revenue information, partnership remuneration. Do you remunerate your partner on efficiency or quality work, or as they bring clients? Now, we also look at the list of PIEs and non-PIEs clients. These are the basic information that is required from that. If you download the document on the website, I think it's a few pages, about 4 or 5 pages. It has 2 tables. One of the tables, table 1, talk about the report information that should be there. If auditor belongs to a network, you need to describe that network, because it's possible you are a mid-sized firm or big-sized firm, or even a small firm that has connected to have an affiliate with a foreign firm. You need to disclose it. The legal arrangement between you and that network is very important. So you can see this information are information that needs to be made. It's a big way of advertising your firm if it's put there. The structural arrangement of the network, the description of audit internal control system is important. Now, the name of each body that is authorized to review. Now, if it's possible that as a network firm, usually they carry out annual review or regular review to ensure that the integrity of the network is maintained, the quality of the network is maintained. Who is handling that should be part of that report? What does the report talks about? What are the weaknesses they've identified? How good they say you are? What are the strengths of your firm that the practice, the network have established? Let it be there. Then the revenue should also be splitted. Should also be disclosed in terms of the revenue from the statutory audit of annual and consolidated financial statement of PIEs and belonging to a group of undertaking. We want to identify whether one group is giving you huge percentage of revenue that can impair your independence. Revenue from statutory audit of annual and consolidated financial statements of other entities. Revenue from permitted non-audit service to entities that are audited by the statutory auditors and the audit firm. Revenue from non-audit service. So we want to see what is the composition of your revenue. Yes, some people have said, well, it's for the council to charge the annual due. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. We want to ensure, the council want to ensure the integrity and the independence of the firm. We want to ensure that the work they are doing is quality in nature. So we also have table 2 that talks about other information, which I think I would advise us to download the document and read it properly. Now, what are the importance of this document, this report? What are the importance? 1, like I said, it builds trust and credibility. It promotes audit quality. It aids decision-making for shareholders, stakeholders rather. Then don't forget that when the committee, maybe audit committee, want to recruit a firm, they ask firm to bid and submit. This kind of information, if it's part of your submission, they will get the detail from you, and it will help in a way that they are going to relate with you. Let me say that in the course of our review, we review one firm, and usually we normally have exit meeting. At the exit meeting, the senior partner, the partner of the firm, made one commendation about this document, and he said the best document that the council have ever released is this. And why? Because it helped them. They went for a program somewhere, exhibition somewhere. They did not know that people have gone to their website and downloaded the document, and they've read it. He was so happy that he has internalized the document. He didn't just sign as the Olorioko as the chief of the, as the senior partner, he has internalized, he was able to discuss, and they got so many things. He was so appreciative of it. So I want people also to queue in line with, see the benefit. Don't look at just the annual deal that council may want to charge from it, but the benefit that it can, how it can project you. So identify risk and area of improvement. For example, if the council has reviewed you, you will see those area of improvement will be mentioned, remediation that is expected will be put there. And once you've done it, it enhances, the quality of your work. So it's important. Ultimately, audit transparency report help to bridge gap between auditors' performance and public expectation, ensuring the audit function remain relevant and trusted in the complex business environment. So, Rule 13 is a recent rule as well. Talks about submission of financial statement by non-resident companies. You agree with me that we have some non-resident companies in Nigeria. You have a company like I think Facebook and the rest. They don't have any presence in Nigeria. They don't have, but they make so much money from our airwaves. So the government, in its wisdom, thinks that it's important also to bring them on board. I think as a result of Finance Act 2020. So this is where the council also cure from it to ensure that they are properly monitored and regulated. So what is expected for the auditor? Because this is auditor responsibility. It's not the client. They don't have office in Nigeria. There's no way the council can get to them, but except through the auditor. So once they prepare their financial statement, 30 days after that financial statement has been concluded, you must submit it to the council. You must submit to the council. So the financial statement must be sent to the council by independent, qualified, or certified accountant that have tested it within 30 days of sending such financial statement to any agency of the government. Because it's expected that, I think under Finance Act 2020, once it is done, it must send to Federal Revenue. So Federal Revenue is an agency of government. At the same time, it must be sent to the council. This is Rule 13. Now, the last rule, which is Rule 14, like I said, it covers almost all the rules, and it put it on the shoulder of professionals. When this rule was issued, sincerely speaking, it was a big issue. It was we received a lot of letters, advices from firms, especially the big ones. What should be done? What shouldn't be done? Let me use the opportunity to also thank my team at the FRC. It was a big job. But I thank God it was successful, even though painful. But what I'm saying is this rule put the burden now on the auditors. So I want to advise all auditors, please study Rule 1 to 13 and see where you need to. Now, what this Rule 14 is saying is this. Before you complete your engagement, ensure you send an email to the council, Rule 14 at FRC Nigeria, government, frcnigeria.gov.ag. States that CRC Limited, we're about to complete the audit. Kindly confirm. So in that confirmation, you put the name of the company. If the company has already registered with the council, put the FRC number. The people that sign financial statement, their names and the FRC number. Then when the letter gets to the council, the council will now look at it, check if the entity has been filing its financial statement. This is where the filing responsibility comes. If they have registered with the council, you check. If these people signing, these signatories have also registered with the council, where they have not, all this report will be sent back to the auditor. Now, going front and back could take 2-3 weeks to get it solved. However, this is my candid advice I've been giving those while I was there, giving the end firms. Before you even start the engagement, it's a continuous audit. You know the people. Send the letter immediately. So while the work is still going on, before going forth and back from you and the council, the issue will be resolved, and you have no objection to issue and confirm. Now, along the line, some firms have run foul of this rule. A lot did not confirm. They sign up and conclude. In the wisdom of Dr. Olowo, units, part of the team did elaborate analysis and brought out lists of firms that are violated. We called them, we met with some, and sincerely speaking, I want to use the opportunity to thank Mr. Shola Oyetayo. He has intervened because a lot of sanction letters would have been issued, some of them. He intervened and met with the council, midwives of meetings, and what do you call it? Some concessions were reached, and I believe is ongoing to ensure that the interests of SMPs are protected and they do what is expected of them. So, so thereafter, a letter will be issued back to the firm to show the level of compliance of your claims, and thereafter you sign off on the account. But like I said, Rule 1 to 13 is what you must have good understanding of to be able to comply with Rule 14. Yes, there have been some controversies along the Rule 14 as to well, this has expanded our work more, and it's a different engagement, or ISA 250 did not say we should do this and the rest. Well, let me say that as at that time, but now I can't speak for the council anymore on this issue, but I think the system will be better for it. I must confess to you, the system will be better for it. It will enhance the work of auditors. We're going to do better. The quality of our work will be seen. At the same time, imagine as auditor, I did the work, they gave me 5 million naira, but thereafter sanction my client to go and pay 25 million. What have I done as auditor? Meanwhile, these are the things I'm supposed to have seen and guide them and value addition to my client. So I think, like I said, rules are there. Please, let's understand it to be able to guide our clients properly. Now, practice review, I'm sure those that have been reviewed are aware of it. This is I think it's in line with Section 60 of the FRC Act. The council is empowered to review this exercise and ensure that quality work is done. This is the process we'll follow. Because of time, I may not take us through that. We issue Audit Regulation 2020. Like I said, it has this, the objective, and it's applicable to auditors, audit committee members, and non-audit assurance. The objective of it is to ensure, don't forget that when the FRC Act was issued in 2011, the Directorate of Audit Practice Standards could not do anything as at that time because there was no framework. So audit regulation was the framework. And thereafter, I mean, therein, there is a lot that's expected of auditors and other assurance. I would advise that you can download it on our website so that you can, take a good look at it, because it provides some sanctions for not, so it prescribes some sanctions for non-compliance with this. Now, part of this regulation is rotation of firms and engagement partners. Partners within a firm are expected to rotate with maximum of 5 years. But what we have seen over the years, especially among the mediums and big firms, they seem to comply with the network requirement, which talks about 7 or more. So please, let's ensure that we comply with the law that is in the land. For a single audit, maximum of 10 years, after you stay away for 7 years cool-off period. For joint audit, is 15 years. We received, while I was in the council, granted a year waiver or 2 for some firms, because we know it's not easy to pick a firm, to pick audit firm. It's not like shirts that you go to ShopRite and pick. There are process and procedures to follow. So if I want to advise us to go through this transition period to determine how long you have stayed, how much concession, how many years concession the council still give you, and when you are supposed to quit the job. So the council issue another document called operational guideline, and instrument of delegation. That instrument of delegation, it was signed between the council and the 2 professional accounting organization, PAOs. It is believed that the council has limited resources in terms of human resources, yet we want to leverage on the proficiency and the resources from our professionals, especially the 2 professional bodies, to ensure that they carry out the same practice review and report annually to the council. I want to believe, I think it was 2022, it was signed, commenced from 2023, the council will be expecting reports from both bodies anytime soon. So what are the other documents that the council have published, that the auditors have responsibility to understand it, to be able to guide their claims properly. NCCG have explained that you don't need to wait until you conclude audit to file corporate governance report. 90 days before the year ends, complete it. So after the year ends, rather, complete it. Thereafter, it will amount to sanction. ICFR is also a document that we issue. As auditors, there's a separate one that is issued for auditors, because if you are going to review it, there are steps to follow, framework to follow. That is guidance on assurance engagement is important. Before I left the council, I've seen some reports. They are not it. They are not it. So I believe the council will take the necessary step to make those corrections to ensure that things are aligned. Then the one for the firm. Before I left the council, because council in his wisdom, Dr. Olowo in his wisdom, did not want to, because they granted 1 year for government agency. The reason was what you don't budget for, you cannot expend. So that 1 year was granted the government agency. So if you audit government agency, by 2025, the financial statement that will come out 2026, those 4 documents will be part of what you should. So encourage them to go ahead and do to avoid sanction. A lot of companies were sanctioned last year on account of not filing the 2023 financial statement to include the ICFR. Then we also have Nigeria Not for Government Organization Code. This coming what? So sorry, not for profit. That one is already in existence. So if you audit NGO, non-government organization, so please take a look at it, study it so that you can help your client to comply. Then we also have SMA corporate governance. It's also there. Download it on our website. It's also FRC website. Download it. Take a good study of it and advise your clients if you have SME in your entire list. So the government, FRC adopted IFRS S1, S2 on sustainability reporting. It will become mandatory in 2028. Right now is no, it's not mandatory yet, but people are doing self-complying before the time, and they are in phases. So please take a look at that roadmap that is being presented. Take a look at the IFRS on FRC website, download them so that you can guide because it's applicable to all public interest entities. And this public interest, as defined by FRC Act, is very important, as defined by FRC Act. So recently also, Nigeria Actuarial Practice Regulation was also issued by the council for insurance business, for PFA business, pension fund, and the rest. If you have any claims of such, please take a look at that regulation. It will help you to guide your claims. The same thing with valuation. I think in the last few months, some staff, FRC Council, at the head of that directorate especially, has been going around in collaboration with big firms to ensure that people are educated on what to do concerning valuation. Valuation is key. Not every figure in the financial, especially when it comes to PPE and the rest, they are not the responsibility of the auditors, rather, especially when the assets are revalued, testing for impairment and the rest. So auditors may not have that knowledge. So if you don't have it, you are allowed to lean on work of other experts. As you put it in there, save your head to ensure that you have good understanding of what you are doing. Then public sector governance is coming on board. Effort has been, the directorate, including the CEO, they've been going to places to get the support and the buy-in of people to ensure that it's seamless. I mentioned this 1 year that was granted the public sector agency. Then government also has used 2 positions on IFRS 29 on inflationary economy. We have not triggered it because we believe things are taking shape, things are getting better, but it's important as an auditor. If you have any of your any of your clients, study this and ensure whether, because it is auditor is going to, when the country triggers it off, it's the auditor's responsibility to apply it. You apply IAS 29 on the financial statement of your clients. You need to have good understanding of it. I think this is the last one. Talk about IPSAS applicability. we've observed that some entities, especially agencies of government, that are supposed to do IFRS are doing IPSAS. Some supposed to do IPSAS are doing IFRS. So this document, please download it, study it. It will guide you to know whether your client is supposed to be IPSAS reporting or IFRS reporting. Imagine after they have engaged you, you've done the conversion, they give you 20 million. Later you now realize that, the government says you are not supposed to do IPSAS. You're supposed to do IFRS. So please take a look at that, and it will guide, you'll be able to guide your clients properly. We've adopted, the FRC have adopted IFRS, no more SAS. It has adopted IPSAS. Then also, in the course of review of firms, we've also seen that some firms don't even have ISQC1 at all. Nothing, no framework. It's not a new document, so please align with ISQM1 and 2. It's very important. For the FRC reviewer that will be visiting you, they'll be checking you on ISQ1 and ISQM2. Aside from every other standards reporting that ISA that you use in carrying out your job, they will check your firm whether you are footed on ISQM1 and 2. Recently, the council adopted, before I left, the council adopted ISA for less complex entity. So it's possible you have small firms, small clients that are not applying the full-fledged of ISA, may be onerous on them. So this is a single document that contains every other standards, but in a more simpler way for complex entity. The standard defines complex entity, so it's very important you look at it, whether those clients you have are complex or not complex. So FRC has 4 forms of sanction that you can avoid. The first one, you could be restricted from carrying out a particular job. Maybe if they discover that you don't have enough knowledge in it, they say don't go there. You can be sanctioned to pay penalty in terms of money. Suspension of registration can be done. Withdrawal of registration can be done. The last option is withdrawal. In fact, if a firm is suspended or an individual is suspended, in fact, it's not what one should be praying for. It's not good at all. But for any form of restriction, any form of sanction, even if you are given a letter not to do it again, you are warned, it's a sanction. It's not good. So please, let's avoid it. Let's comply with the laws, and we'll keep doing our job. In conclusion, I said a strong compliance culture reduces risk of penalty, lawsuits, and reputational damage. But beyond protection, it also boosts performance by driving consistency, accountability, and professional discipline. Thank you.
I think I saw secretarial in the
Hello, doctor. I can't hear you. I don't know, maybe it's from my side, sir. Hello, hello, sir. Chuma, can you hear me? Let me call Kingsley.
Sorry, Dr. Sani. Dr. Sani, I'm done, sir.
So, Mr. Mo, can you hear me?
It's another discussion. I can hear you very well. It's another discussion.
Okay.
I believe Dr. Sani said it's another discussion. But I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me call his attention.
Debbie can hear you.
Dr. Sonny, I'm done.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't hear the moderator.
He is not speaking. The number is speaking.
But he can hear me.
You should check this from his end.
Okay, it's from his end, right?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Motu also on studio can hear me very well.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
He's still. I can see him still talking. Maybe
I think he's having another discussion because he's talking. I can't hear him.
I called his mobile phone. He said he can hear us as we are talking.
Oh, okay.
But he cannot hear us.
We can't hear him. We can't hear him. All right. If there are questions to attend to.
Hello, Mr. Fadili. Hello?
Hello, sir. We can hear you now.
Can you hear me on this device?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, so let me
but there are some levels of echo.
Don't worry, let me just sign out from the other. I have to use
we can hear you now. All right, thank you.
Hold on.
Yemi, can you unmute?
I'm trying to sign up so that there'll be no echo. Hold on, man.
Can Yemi please unmute?
I'm talking. Can you hear me now? Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. We can hear. I can.
Yes,
hear
we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Amao, for the wonderful paper presentation. Dear esteemed participants, like I told you earlier on, I said these sessions that we're going to have here today, they are going to be very highly informative. You can agree with me. They have been highly informative, highly educative, and truly enlightening. We can see that today's session has not only deepened our understanding, but has also equipped us with fresh perspective. Because I could tell from when Mr. Mao was presenting Rule 1 to Rule 14, I'm sure a number of us are not even apprised ourselves with the number of those rules. So it was. So I believe that our understanding has been deepened, and we have been equipped with fresh perspective on our day-to-day audit jobs. Also, he gave practical insight and renewed confidence and for us to be able to navigate the evolving landscape of the accounting and the SMP ecosystem, which is the core and the reason why the ICAN SMP Academy was really established. The quality of engagement, the depth of discussions, and the richness of the shared experiences from Mr. Mao today reflect the commitment of our profession to continuous learning and excellence. Mr. Mao, once again, I want to say a very big thank you to the presentation, for the presentation. Next, we're going to go to question. Yeah, we're going to go to a question and answer session. A number of our members are dying to ask questions, and there have been a number of questions in there at the question and answer box room. Unfortunately, with the system I'm having here now, I can't see most of those questions. So I will call on Mr. Fadele to please help read out some of these questions so that Mr. Mal can help us do justice to this question before we call on our Vice President, Mr. Sofirat Quinsley Segosime, MNI FCA, to help give a vote of thanks to close the webinar for today. So please, Mr. Fadele, kindly help with the questions. Please let us take as many questions as possible. And for those people whose questions cannot be answered, I can tell you the questions will be answered and they will be emailed to the email that you have used to register. And those that are meaning to have their credit hours, trust me, your credit hours, you will get your credit hours. And the slides for this presentation will be sent to everybody. So because I've been seeing comments about the slides and people wanting us to send the slides to their email, you will all get the slides for this comment. Mr. Fadele, please over to you for the questions that we have there. Okay, I can see one on the board here. He's saying, regarding Rule 14 on partner rotation, how can SMPs with only 1 or 2 partners comply with mandatory rotation without losing their major clients or violating independence requirements? Mr. Mao, please, can you help us with this response to this one before we take the next question? Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. I look at, I think, section 62 or 63 of the Act. It's also calling for peer review. And I'm sure our institute, Mr. Jamil and of EY, and Mr. I think Olabode of PwC, they are working on it with the council, issue of peer review. So what I would advise a one-man firm is to have an alliance with another firm, because that peer review will be required later. So I mean, once the essence of rotation is to ensure that the job is not. If you want to write a good letter, they said you need somebody that will dot the I and cross the T for you. So why can't you get somebody on board instead of you one-man business? If it is 2 men and 2 partners, you rotate among the 2. It's okay, 5 years. So, but just one person, I don't see one person doing more or much. When it comes to even bidding for job, they will not consider a single man, a single one-man business when you want to go for bidding, except man no. So it's important that you come together to merge and or form that peer review with another firm.
Thank you very much. Please, can we bring, okay. Now the next question is, what happens if non-audit assignment is handled by the consulting branch of the same firm? Should it be reported as non-audit assignments?
Yes, because it's the same firm, except if it's a different company. If it's a different company registered separately, but if it's an arm of a firm or amount of them that is carrying out the job, it should be reported because it's carrying out and go firm.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next question. The question from Idris Abubakar says, are owners of small companies who are CEOs and directors mandated to register with the Financial Reporting Council?
Yes, sir. If they sign financial statements, when the company is qualified or under that categorization of PIEs, public interest entities, they are mandatory. It's mandatory for them to register with the council. The company will be registered, and those individuals also must register.
Thank you. Next question. IT, next question. Okay, they've not projected it, but one of the questions I picked before I had technical glitches is somebody was asking question that why is it that partners, when partners pay and registered with FRSC, their firms are also made to register? Can you explain the reason for this one, sir?
Okay, a firm is a legal entity, different from the owners. So the objective, the reason behind the two of them registered or registering with the council, for example, if the firm registers and the registrar and the partner also register, and something happens, it is the firm and it is the partner that will, it is a partner number that could be suspended or withdrawn, not the firm, because it is not the what do you call it, the plan of FRC to kill firms. Now, when it comes to review, peer review, it is the firm that is reviewed together with the engagement of the partners. So registration is important. It's not only here, that's best practice worldwide.
Okay. The next question is, I don't think that this person got what you said very well, because I don't think I heard you say this. The person is the question was asked by Honesty Bright. He said you stated that the audit chairman must sign the financial statement. Please, can you clarify this statement, sir? Thank you. I can't remember that I heard you say that.
Audit committee chairman. The chairman of audit committee must register with the council, because he's the one to sign the audit committee's opinion. So audit committee's report. So he must register with the FRC to sign. And when he signs, he must put FRC number. Audit committee chairman.
Okay. Honestly, Bright, that question, so you get to understand it. The part of the financial statement that the audit committee's chairman needs to sign is the audit committee's report. You understand? And that's the one the chairman needs to sign. And the requirement is that the audit committee chairman that needs to sign must be registered with Financial Reporting Council. And when you are registered with the Financial Reporting Council, you will have an FRC number. And that FRC number must be quoted while signing the financial statement. I think that brings us to the end of the questions that have been asked. Mr. Mao, I want to say a very big thank you to you for taking your time out for us for this technical session today. On this note, before I call on our VP, I think the chairman of SMP Forum has his message in 1 minute for the SMP Forum members, because don't forget this program was done by the ICAN SMP Academy in conjunction with the SMP Forum. So the chairman of SMP Forum is Shola Itayo. If you're online, please 1 minute to quickly give the message before I call my vice president.
Okay, thank you very well, Yemi. First, the only thing I'd like to, if you want to join the Forum of SMP, I put already on the chat box the details, so you can get the details. BC Akigbon from Adegbo from Baker Tilly, so you can get his number. It's already on the chat box. Please get in touch with him. And the SMP Forum is also organizing a program next week. Then the details will be made known to you. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Tayo. On this note, let me call on my unable, highly distinguished Vice President, President of Queensley, MNI FCA, for the closing remark. Our VP has been following us from the beginning of this session up to the end. My VP,
thank you.
My VP, you have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you very, very much. It's been quite interesting. Very distinguished president, council members, chairman, our esteemed facilitators. I want to say a big thank you. On behalf of the Institute, I extend our sincere appreciation to our leader, our president, Malam Haruna M. Yahya, MNI PhD, FCA, for, of course, his inspiring leadership. You listened to him on his opening comment today. Very inspiring. Our gratitude also goes to the chairman of the SMP Forum, my good friend, Mr. Shola Oyetayo, FCA, for his warm welcome address and, of course, his focused welcome remarks. And to our chairman of the SMP Academy Board of Trustees, Mr. Kunle Elebute, for his insightful presentation on the role and structure of the Academy. Of course, we were not expecting anything less. We know Mr. Elebute for that. We're also deeply grateful to a very distinguished council member and a very good facilitator. Anytime we call him, he's there to support us. Mr. Jamiu Adeyemi Olakisho, FCA, for the engaging session on the future of audit and artificial intelligence. Mr. Adesola Amao, I listened very well to FCA for the very enlightening session on FRC compliance, audit transparency reporting, and of course the NOCLAR. Thank you for sharing your expertise with clarity and depth. Our appreciation also goes to our moderator, Dr. Yemi Sonny. I wasn't expecting anything less, FCA, for guiding today's program seamlessly. To the SMP Academy, the forum leadership, the planning committee, SMP Forum, and ICAN Secretariat, ably led by the Registrar Chief Executive, Dr. Larry Olasukomi, we say thank you for the excellent organization of today's event. Finally, to all participants, we say thank you for your presence, your engagement, and your commitment to continuous professional development. May God bless you all, and may God bless our great institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. Thank you for being part of this historic occasion. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much, ma'am. My most distinguished, amiable, powerful Vice President of our great institute. Thank you for that wonderful closing remark. Today, let us know today that as at the middle of this program, across all channels, when we finished our first session, we already had over 5,000 people who were streaming online from all social media channels. And I want to believe that as at the close, it's not confirmed yet, but I'm sure we will be hitting close to about 10,000. So it's been a fantastic and a worthwhile experience today with all of you participants. This was made successful and made possible by your joining into the program. And this is highly encouraging. I can tell you, ICAN is ready and ICAN is on to ensure that at all times they raise the bar in terms of audit quality in Nigeria and in supporting the SMP space. My name is Dr. Yemi Sani, and I want to thank you all for joining in to this webinar today. Please watch out for all the other webinars and all other trainings that we're going to have for SMPs in the coming year, in year 2026. Thank you very much and have a wonderful week ahead. God bless. Please, can we have the ICAN item and the national anthem, please?
Let's go, I can fount of treasure in triumph of an array, standing strong. Chartered Accountant of Nigeria. Noble ICAN, noble ICAN, your accuracy we cherish. We uphold your integrity.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may